Hi there, my name is Laura Maurer. I am a Team Beachbody coach, entrepreneur, sister, friend, best friend, and what I'm here to talk to you guys about today is I want to tell you my story. So first of all, thank you for tuning in and hitting play and watching this. Um, for so long, this was such a rough topic for me to discuss. I wasn't sure how to describe it to people. It was more just feelings rather than, you know, a significant moment in my life. So I finally have come to the point where I feel like I can actually put it into words for you guys to hear. So here goes nothing. When I got out of high school, I knew that I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to spend 25 grand or however much on, some degree to something that I didn't even think I didn't even really want. There wasn't a profession that, when I looked at the college lists and what they had to offer and what courses for what degrees, none of it, struck my fancy in the right way. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to go to school and be in debt for something that I don't even want. So I ended up working at a coffee shop just close by to my neighborhood, and ended up staying there a lot longer than I had anticipated. I quit actually after my first year. I really enjoyed it, and I told my boss, I want to go off and find something else to do. And I'd always been interested in health and fitness. That's always kind of been in the back of my mind. So I ended up, kind of searching about. I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll start in a gym as a receptionist. And then my boyfriend at the time said, why don't you try personal training school? So I was like, okay. And so I went up to school for one day. I went to personal training school for, I think it was, I went to the orientation, I went to day one, and that was it. It felt too much like high school for me. It was a really nice small community, and I just wasn't ready for that type of thing. So and it kind of worked out for the best, as you can tell here, I'm talking to you now. So anyways, ended up not doing that, and I went back to the coffee shop a few weeks later and stayed there and ended up working with my boss a lot and getting a lot of insight. Actually, this is kind of stepping into, taking a few years into the timeline on things. Sorry about that, I'm stumbling here. So about 2 years or so, I stayed there for 4 years total, and went from, being your average Joe regular barista, talking to people and having fun with it, to becoming an assistant manager there and helping with interviews, the daily paperwork, doing deposits. I was the person that did all the ordering and delivering and making sure that everything got set. I was that person. I was the go-to. So that was me, and I got to work a lot alongside my boss and learn a lot about the entrepreneur mindset and the business mindset. Not always, not always the best advice, but a lot of knowledge came from it. And I really enjoyed working with my boss at that time. And from there, I also had a couple other figures in my life who were very helpful in showing me the way when it came to business, where you kind of have to do those things that, those little things that at the end of the day in the back of your mind are thinking, I know I should do this, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to, and you kind of just leave. And so that was kind of my push, my nudge, and what actually got my foot in the door to being an assistant manager. And I was really grateful for that. I was really excited. And this was actually my boyfriend's dad at the time. And so I loved it. It was great getting to get that insight and knowing, oh my gosh, that's the difference. I was doing those tiny, it was cleaning in an area that nobody wanted to touch because it was hard to get to. It was, and like just kind of doing and little day-to-day chores, or going the extra mile when it came to customers and talking with them and really getting to know them. And so this kind of just, on for a few years. And after so long, I say after my third year of being there, I was getting tired. I was getting worn out. I was, you start seeing, as much as I loved my regulars, with, we were kind of in a recession a little bit, so I didn't get to see a lot of new people and a lot of new faces. I just started to feel in a rut. Everything was kind of the same. It was, everything was the same. Not a lot of change. And it just kind of all was, seemed like it was closing in on me. And, but then the responsibility started piling on to where I felt like, I couldn't necessarily do anything for me. My life became work after so long, and it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I enjoyed being a barista, and I enjoyed my customers at the time. But just, that day-to-day routine was just killing me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it any longer. And got to the point to where, I started putting my health on the back burner. I, wouldn't eat. I would go to work, make a drink, shots of coffee, and I would eat, some oatmeal or something in the morning. And then lunchtime I would skip because we were so busy all the way up until noon. And then at that point I would, felt like I had to clean up after myself. And so I wouldn't eat until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I was starving. And, and I wish that like there was something better out there for myself that was more nutritious. I tried, making soups ahead of time and all this stuff, and it just, nothing stuck. And then it came to, I couldn't sleep at night because I was thinking about work. I remember laying in bed and I would wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I had to get up at 4:30, and I would just be laying there because I was afraid that thinking about work. When you just wake up in the middle of the night and you're stressing out about work. Oh, did I do this? Did I turn off that? Did I make, do the ordering correctly today? Stuff like that. And my mind would just start going and I couldn't sleep. It was times where I would just be on overload because I was so tired and I was, balancing too much, and I just, wanted to pull my hair out, and I still wanted to get a workout in at the end of the day, and I was so exhausted and so tired, but I still would. And then I, got to the point where I actually injured my sciatica, and all the way down to my heel because I was working 11-hour days and coming home and doing P90X and jogging for 5 miles. I was exhausted, and so at that point, I needed a change. I needed something, anything to get, not anything, but something to get me out of that rut. And so I quit my job after 4 years being a barista. Really, it was a needed day, but it was a sad day. And so I went from, being in the same position, having the same relationships when it came to my personal and professional life for 4 years out of my life, having that day-to-day routine, to doing something that I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea where I was going. I just knew that I wanted something more for myself. I was sick of putting me on the back burner. I was sick of feeling tired. I was sick of feeling exhausted and drained and having to, and depressed and having to feel like that every single day. I wanted more. I wanted more. And even though I didn't even believe it at the time that it was possible, I knew, deep down, I knew there was something. There had to be something. There's happy people out there, and I want to be one of them. So, and so that was when I met my best friend at the time, and we started talking, and he kind of pushed me in the right direction and said, okay, we'll go back to the health and fitness. So I tried personal training again, and that was when I finished my 6-month program. And after I graduated, I ended up kind of serving on the side as I was going to school for personal training. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do by the time I graduated, so I stayed at the restaurant. People kept asking me, okay, Laura, when are you going to, what are you going to do? Are you going to do something with your diploma and get your certification, that sort of thing? And I kept saying, kind of brushing it off because I knew it wasn't what I wanted. It still wasn't enough. I wanted more. I didn't want to have to work in a gym. I didn't want to have to just, formulate workout plans all day long. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to really, I wanted to give people, give them freedom, give them something that they can do with their life, give them the reins in their own life, in their own health, in their own fitness. and in their own happiness. And that was really when Beachbody came into play. I was surfing on Craigslist for a month or two, I'd say probably a month, and each week I kept seeing the same thing for a fitness coach, and I was like, what is this? So I kept reading it, and finally one day I was like, you know what, might as well go for it. The details, I was interested, it sounded like me. I was like, coaching, health coaching, I kind of like that idea. And it kind of made me nervous because I didn't know what it was, but at the same time I was like, you can't, it doesn't hurt to try. So that was when I first met Christy, my coach, Christy Curtis, and it kind of just blossomed from there. It hasn't been, the uphill battle of success. You see those things where it's success, what we think it looks like and what it really looks like. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind because that's, I feel like I'm doing the cha-cha, one step forward, two steps back, but so I was so excited though, because I finally had the support from a team to go ahead and put my health first. It wasn't, putting a customer first, putting a boss first, putting a boyfriend first, putting, a wow, some in-laws, almost in-laws in front of myself. It was all something that I could do for me. I drank Shakeology to better my nutrition. I started doing the 21-day fixed meal plan to really get in those vegetables. I knew I needed more. I didn't know how many. I was able to use that and, portion control to figure things out. And dial down on the cheese. Supposedly, I was eating too much cheese, which was still heartbreaking. And so it gave me, I was able to, once I actually fired my boss in May of 2014. And I'm one of those people where I like to save up money and then I don't know exactly what I'm saving for. And so when I do stuff like that, I wasn't making a ton of money at Beachbody at the time because I wasn't looking to. I wanted to help myself first before I could help other people. And that's what I did. So I had my some money, I saved up, I'm living at home with my parents, and I just dove in and said, I want to do this. So I went ahead and quit my day job and was able to finally put, as a waitress, and I was able to finally put in time for fitness. And that was something that really excited me because when you're walking around for 5 hours out of the day or however many hours and you're just speed walking, I remember just speed walking all the time. Maybe I didn't have to walk so fast, but you're working the same muscles all the time, and I was so excited to work my body the way I wanted to, with yoga, or trying weird new moves, and through P90X and T25 and Insanity and that sort of thing. And so that was fun for me. That was exciting, and I still love it. I still enjoy it every single day. And so putting those things first, and it even came to, which was a shocker to me, when I was joined the team. We do this thing where it's called personal development. You read books, and you can just kind of really hone in on yourself. And it turned me from being a very negative, very doubtful, kind of almost a non-believer in myself, didn't have a lot of confidence or self-esteem. Still work on those, a lot of those things, not perfect. But it helped me to build up that mentality again, and almost kind of feel like when you're a teenager and you feel like you can just tackle anything. That was kind of how I was starting to feel again, and that it still is. The more and more each day that I do it, that's how I feel. And so that one was actually my favorite. That ended up being my favorite thing out of all the things that Beachbody had to offer for me. I knew I could do better in my nutrition, and I wanted to, so I did. I was able to move my body in different ways through fitness, and then I was able, and I'm still able, to improve my mindset through personal development, and that just made me the happiest girl in town. And that's when now has brought me to today. Um, Sharing with you guys my story and wanting to see this same progress in other people's lives. I see so many people struggling in their jobs, in their health, in their environment. They're around negative people. They're around people who drink or people who smoke, or they're in a fast-paced industry to where they feel the need that they cannot go ahead and get their full nutrients for the day, and maybe all they need is a quick shake like Shakeology to get in their 8 to 9 cereals and fruits and vegetables every day. People that are exhausted at the end of the day because they're just running themselves ragged. And I, as a coach, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to tell you that we have a solution. And I know it's so hard. This was really hard for me, is to grasp that concept, because you don't really know it until you're in it. You don't really know it until you're just diving in head first and you're just going for it. You're kind of like you're free falling. And that's what it is. It's just going and doing it. You're sick of putting your health on the back burner. You want to put it on the front, whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness, whether it's mental health, whatever it is. And so that's my story, guys. That's me in a nutshell, and how I've progressed in my life and what's changed and what hasn't and what is to come. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your taking out some of your time out of your day to sit here and watch me. So thank you very much, and hope you have a great evening.